Hello, my name is Tom or FPL Wildy, and this is my weekly series Buy, Sell, Hold, Gamble. Essentially what it is, we're going to list some players from each category every game week. So buy, obviously, are the players that I'm recommending you to buy this week, some solid options in there. Sell, players that I think you need to start moving on. Hold, we're going to look at the most popular transfers out, and I'm going to think, is it a good idea? Should we be holding on to them longer? So these are players that I think you should hold your horses on and save for at least a little bit longer. And then gamble, which is an extension of buy. These are players that come with a little bit more risk. So that could mean lower ownership option. It could mean a minutes risk. So yeah, you'll have an option to roll the dice with a gamble option, or you can go for the solid safe pick under buy. So that's the gist of it. Let's dive straight in. Alright, so unfortunately, no surprises here. Recommendation number one will be Semenyo. 7.1 million now. He has gone up 0.01. He's 11.6% owned. So about 10% of the game own him. He's had nearly 500,000 transfers in. He obviously picked up a monster haul against Liverpool away to Anfield. 15 points he came out of. But you're looking at his numbers last year, he actually got more numbers, like goals and assists, that I thought he did last year. And his XGI at 0.53. That's solid. Like for 7 million option, that is a real outlier, I would say. I mean, Morgan Rogers was like 0.34. So yeah, Semenyo's underlying data is really good. Obviously, you can't take this season's data into account yet, but I've listed it on there. But yeah, look at the fixtures coming up for Bournemouth. If you need to pivot to a mid-range attacker now, I think you go Semenyo, right? I mean, look at that run of fixtures. Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton, Newcastle. That's 3 home games in the next 4. Then you've got Leeds. And you've got another 2 home games out in the next 3. So yeah, Semenyo, I'm not setting the world alight by mentioning him here. I'm sure he's all on your radars, but first week, game week 1, I'm struggling a little bit for buy. I don't recommend you go out and buy these players necessarily, but if you are shopping, these are the best 2. And then Reinders, he's literally on everyone's radar. Way oversaturated at this point, but he's obviously the next best buy option, probably the best 5.5 midfielder we'll have this season. He could even potentially break the game if he starts, like, I don't know, 9 out of 10 games for City. He's going to be phenomenal. His ownership is now creeping up to nearly 30% ownership, so he's not a differential anymore. When he hauls, it's going to hurt. And then we look at his data from Serie A. So 0.3 XGI per 90. That's good. You know, from number 8, that's good. He gets more goals than assists, double the amount of goals and assists. So that 0.3 is going to be a little bit more weighted toward goals. I think we're seeing that already for City. So yeah, he's dropped the number similar to what he did last season, and he got 2 returns out of it. So I think just that quality he has, he'll probably overperform his XGI. Fixtures are fine. Like, before 5.6 million asset, like, you're not really playing that for fixtures at this point. You're playing him for the holistic player he is. Playing for City, they're going to have the ball for 70% of possession. So, yeah, chances will always come to him. I could put him on the gamble option, but I just think for the price he is a solid buy. Even if he starts 4 out of 5 games, it's still good value at 5.5. The thing is with Reinders, he's probably not going to be a player that stays on the bench. So if he does get benched, he probably will make an appearance point, which you don't really want. But yeah, Reinders, I think he's a solid buy. So they are my 2 buy options for Game Week 1. Moving on to the sell recommendations this week. Obviously, Game Week 1, I wouldn't actually recommend you to sell any players yet. Be patient. There's 1 game week. Don't go knee-jerking now. If you set up a team, you did not just look at the first game week. Come on, you've looked at least 3 games. So roll it out. Don't waste your transfers yet. But obviously, we have got 2 issues on your screen. Isak, if you got him, 5% of you do, get rid. You don't know who he's going to play for next. You don't know when he's going to next play. I don't think he's fit. He's not training. He's training by himself, right? So, yeah, if he's in your team now, get rid. And then Vardiol, I was struggling who else to put in here, but I'm thinking about it. At this moment in time, I've not heard a press conference about his injury or when he might be returning. So, I think for 6 million, you don't want to keep benching him. And then, like, you look at the fixtures coming up here. How many cleans do they get in the next 4? I don't know. What position he's going to play? Is he going to play centre-back? Is he even going to be nailed for every game? So I think if you are thinking about selling Vardiol, then yeah, by all means, this is your confirmation bias you need. But he's not a must-sell. I must preface that. I think, you know, if he's a risk, you don't really want to keep on your bench for 6 million. There's loads of good defenders options this year at 6 million, 5.5. So yeah, probably pivot to someone else and get rid of him. Okay, moving on to the hold section of this video. So I have grouped Verts with the other 8.5, 9 million assets. So that's your Bruno, Gyökeres, Watkins, even your Marmoush. I don't think you should be selling them after one game week. He's had a lot of transfers out, Verts. He got 2 points. He didn't play that great. I mean, he was absolutely knackered. His fitness isn't there to play 90 minutes in the Premier League. But he'll get you about 80 minutes, which is fine. And then look at his game. He posted up 0.47, so he was active. That's a good enough figure to on another day easily come out with a return. He took corners on both sides, so I think Verts, you can keep in your team, let him tick over. Look at the fixtures here. I'm saying keep Verts until game week 5. Hold on to him, don't sell now. And to be honest, that goes for all my other 8.5s and 9 million assets. Marmoush, you bought Marmoush knowing he could be benched. This is sort of the reason why I've got João Pedro here as well. You can't now sell him because he's had one benching. At least wait another week. So these are holds because with your 9 millions, 8.5 millions, you'd be way better to roll it to the next week. And then if you still want to take him out then you can do it as a pairing. So you can move your funds around. But just downgrading one player, I mean, all the 8.5s and 9 million players are good players. They're that price for reasons. You just got to be patient. Hold on to him. Don't sell Verts yet. Marmoush is the most likely to sell, but I think wait another week. Wait another week. Give it a little bit more time, see what City are doing. But yeah, Marmoush is the most urgent sell. But I wouldn't go after one game week. You bought him for a reason. You know he can be benched. So just wait at least one more game week, then you can make that switch. Because Ekitike might be a great option. He's 8.5, and you can swap your Marmoush, your Verts to an Ekitike, and then swap your midfielder over. I'd recommend doing that. And then for similar reasons, João Pedro. You knew João Pedro was not going to get 90 minutes. You thought he'd probably get 60, 70, and he'd still score. Nothing has changed. He just didn't score in his first game. 0.37 XG. Palace did a job on Chelsea. Chelsea didn't do that much. So you'd expect them to coming up against West Ham, Fulham, Brentford. They're going to have more joy. So you know what you signed up for, João Pedro. And over $250,000 you've sold already. So you know what we signed up for. You can't sell him after one game week when he didn't score in 60 minutes. So just hold him and keep faith. 2 more players I think you should be holding on to. Do not sell just yet. Jarrod Bowen. Obviously they were poor. Really poor. I'm not too bullish on Jarrod Bowen. He was in like one of my drafts pre-season, and that was like one of my first drafts. I don't love him as an asset, but he's fine. If you started with him, look, 15% of you have owned him. That's shockingly high for me. But he's still the same player he was a week ago. You know you can't trust West Ham every game week, so they're going to have games where they just don't score. But Jarrod Bowen, for the asset he is, you know he's 90 minutes. You know he can get goals and assists. He's reached like 20, 25 goal involvements a year for like 3-4 seasons now. So he will always tick over for you. And I don't really know who you're going to downgrade to. You're going to go to another 7.5? They're not great. I wouldn't knee-jerk Chris Wood. They've just signed another striker. Maybe you want to hold on, roll that transfer, and move to an Ekitike. Can you get to a 9 million? Or do you want to come right down to a Strand Larsen? My point is, we don't really know yet. So at least hold him for another game week. But you can hold him long term as well, because he will tick over Jarrod Bowen, because he's been so consistent for years now. You know what you signed up with. Stick with Jarrod Bowen. You don't need to sell just yet. And then Ezri Konsa, very popular. He's got over 300k transfers out. I'm saying hold. I don't like spending a free transfer on a 4.5 million defender at this part in the season. You're way better rolling that transfer. That will be so much more valuable later down the line. In game week 4 is a great pivot point. In game week 6 is an even better pivot point. So just group up 2 or 3 transfers and you can rearrange your team and pivot to the new structure. Don't waste a transfer on a 4.5 to another 4.5 at this point in the season. Also, it's only suspended for 1 game. And if you had Konsa, you'll almost certainly have players on your bench who can come in and rotate with him. So just play one of them. Don't waste a transfer on Ezri Konsa. It's game week 2. So hold on to your transfers, boys. Don't go wasting them. Gamble, the spicy part of this video. Okay, we've got 2 options in the gamble section. Ekitike is 20% owned. That's high, right? I think he is a buy, but I do think it comes with an element of risk. We don't know who Liverpool are going to sign. Game week 4 is when we will know who their team is, because the transfer window finishes after game week 3. So, looking at the next 2 fixtures, you've got Newcastle and Arsenal. So if I was you, I would hold off on Ekitike. He does look like he could be a real option. Look at his stats down here. Like, he gets good XGI. And I've been impressed with him in the Community Shield and against Bournemouth. I think he will return. I think he will be a good option. But if you're going to buy him now, just understand that this does come with risk. As well as it, like, who else they can sign, like, it's still very short sample size. But if you do want to roll the dice, I think Ekitike is probably the best forward to go for at the moment. So yeah, Ekitike, by all means, do it if you want to. And then 8 Nori. Obviously, it does come with a gamble because we don't know how he's going to fit in. I just love 8 Nori as a player. I think he's absolutely class. I think he can play in multiple positions, and I think Pep agrees with me. I wasn't expecting him to play as one of the centre backs. I just think he's a complete footballer, and he can fit into many roles within the team. So I do think he will get good minutes. Similar to someone else I mentioned in the video, if he is benched, he probably is likely to make an appearance point. Whereas Vardiol would be more likely to stay on the bench, I would say, just because of his attacking output. But we look at 8 Nori's numbers here. He got over 10 goal contributions for Wolves. And they had, what, 35% of possession? He's going to play in for City now. We have 70% possession. When he does get the minutes on the left-hand side, he's going to be right in the box. He's feeding players like Reinders, Haaland, Marmoush. They're going to finish chances. And he loves a goal himself. I think he's class. Yeah, by all means, if you're pivoting from Vardiol, you want a 6 million defender, I think you can go 8 Nori. Understand you are gambling, you are rolling the dice, but I think the upside's there. So they are my 2 gamble picks. So that concludes my first buy, sell, gamble, hold video. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like that sort of format? I'm struggling for weekly content, so I'm going to go with this. Let me know if you're considering any of them players. And I'm trying to build a following, so please follow me on Twitter, give it a like, subscribe, leave a comment. I've had like 3 comments so far, so it'd be nice to hear from some of you. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Adios.